Hello and welcome to another episode of Barrel Banter, a show where we gather around after a long day's work, have a sip or two of whiskey, and talk about what's on our mind. My name's Chris.
I'm John.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Caleb.
And today, we're joined by the UPS man.
I swear, every time we start recording.
Well, we shoot around the same time, makes sense. Right?
Yeah, that's what happens when you shoot at the end of the day and everyone else is going home or coming to collect packages. But today we have a very special bottle.
Well, it's special in the sense that it's not American. This is Pendleton blended Canadian whiskey. It's at a 80 proof. It's fairly standard for blended Canadian. It's a little interesting because it's imported and bottled by the Hood River distillers. So it's actually, they're based out of Oregon, and they use water from the, glacier-fed water from Mount Hood,
Really?
which is, the highest mountain in Oregon. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how that all plays out.
It's Canadian whiskey, but they draw their water from
so they proof it using that glacier-fed water.
Interesting.
And even more interesting is that it's marketed completely toward American cowboys and cowgirls. So
Hence
you get
the logo on there?
Yeah, the
Little
little
Lucky
logo.
Bronco on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does it say there? Letterbuck.
Well, that I
Yeah.
shall.
And Pendleton is actually that Pendleton.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Pendleton, Oregon.
So
Interesting.
let's give it a sniff here.
Gotta let mine open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a little, nose hair singe, but it smells a little sweet right up the front.
Yeah.
If it smells like anything, or if it tastes like anything it smells like, it'll be pretty sweet.
I'm cutting through a lot of that, and I'm getting a lot of
Give it a little.
oakiness, smokiness, just kind of a. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of Mount Hood, but it's very
Mountainy.
yeah, like kind of rustic smelling.
It does. It is rustic smelling. It smells like something a cowboy might drink.
I don't get nearly as much wood or vanilla as you do out of a bourbon, though.
No.
Right.
And they probably don't use new barrels. Typically, I don't think Canadian whiskey does.
Really. Well, take a sip.
Now, the interesting thing about these distillers, what caught my attention initially was when they acquired the Clear Creek Distillery, which are the makers of the McCarthy's Oregon single barrel whiskey.
Ah.
So that kind of, sent a flag up.
Yeah.
And so I thought I'd see what else they had going on.
It's a little sweet, but not too sweet. And it doesn't have.
Easy to drink.
Yeah,
It's very
easy to drink.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, not a lot of heat at all.
No, which is interesting. Maybe it's just because we haven't let it open up, but the scent contradicts
Yes,
that.
yeah. When I first got a whiff of it, I was like, oh, this thing's gonna burn, but
It's
I
creamy.
was pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised.
I'm getting on-
hate to sound cliche, but I'm getting a little maple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Canadian,
it's all in your head.
makes sense.
Maybe that's what I'm getting. The sweetness. There is there is quite a bit of sweetness to it.
I feel like I'm getting a little copper too, though. Like a penny.
There is something on the back end.
Yeah.
Something metallic. Not necessarily unpleasant, just
Right.
it's there.
Kind of
It's
in the
different,
aftertaste.
yeah.
It's definitely a lot lighter than everything we've had in the past, though.
It
Yes,
is.
yeah, definitely. You can tell.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't put any water
No,
in
me
this.
neither.
No, I
Nothing.
Added a
I'd
little.
add a little.
And I think even without water, drinking it neat, I mean, you could probably just sip this all night, no problem.
Yeah, this would also be easy in almost any whiskey mixed drink.
Oh yeah.
this would
it wouldn't
definitely in a
combat
mix.
any of the other flavors at all.
Especially in like a whiskey sour.
Yep.
Where you don't want
Yeah.
super strong wood vanilla.
So how are we finishing? Very subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's slightly warm,
Yeah.
but not hot at all.
It's
Not by
got
any
a-
means.
Definitely doesn't linger.
No.
Yeah.
The sweetness kind of carries it a little bit, but it just kind of falls off. There's not much. I was expecting it to be a little smokier, a little bit of heat on the back end, but
Right.
it's like this is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to
Yeah,
drink.
you could drink right through this.
Speaking of whiskey barrels, or I guess in this case bourbon barrels,
Bourbon barrels.
Craig has a little announcement.
Yes, my bourbon barrel aged beer took first place at the San Diego County Fair in its category.
That's awesome.
Very
Congratulations.
What's the beer called?
It's a bourbon barrel aged barley wine.
Oh, you don't have a fancy name.
Doesn't have a fancy name, no. It's just
Well, now it's an award-winning one. You
there.
have to-
So where is it? Or I mean, you're gonna share some with us, right?
I think it's almost all gone.
I wonder where it went.
Actually, some of it went to a homebrew fest. But there's more in the barrel at home waiting to be kegged.
So how many
Nice.
people, how many different people usually enter something like this? Or this one specifically?
That category is usually pretty big these days. It's very popular, so I don't know the total, but I'm guessing 25 or 30.
Wow. You took first place.
Wow, that's pretty
I
good.
know there's a total in the competition of almost 900 beers
Wow.
entered, but that's over 20-some categories.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Wow,
It's a lot of beer.
very cool.
I also had a mead take a second, but
Oh, nice. So the topic of today, briefly, is Cinegear 2017. It just took place a couple days ago here in Southern California at the Paramount Pictures Studios, downtown Hollywood.
Yeah,
And-
both of you went.
yeah, Craig and I went on Friday. It was a lot of fun. This
it was
was,
a lot of fun.
this was
is
your
my
first
first
year.
time at Cinegear.
So I've been a couple years. This is my third year actually in a row. And the one thing that I noticed from each year is that there's a trend. There is some piece of equipment that everyone seems to be manufacturing. A couple years ago it was drones. Last year it was gimbals and bigger gimbals, remote heads, if you will. And this year, I don't know if you caught this, but color LEDs.
Oh yeah, LED lighting in general just
Right.
seemed really big this year.
Yeah, and there was some pretty impressive stuff. There was some pretty impressive tech. The other thing that I noticed was this was a lot busier than I've seen Cinegear be in years past. I think a lot of it has to attribute to the fact that just a month or two ago was NAB, which is the big video production expo in Vegas, and Red cinema cameras was not there, which was a first and kind of
Odd.
odd, yeah, to
Yeah.
say the least. So with Cinegear, Red was there. They had a big presence, and not only that, Canon was announcing a new cinema line camera, and Panasonic was as well. So it just
Oh, wow.
the amount of people there was just unbelievable. But there was one product that I wanted to talk about that you and I both fancied.
Yes, the variable diffusion panel.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing for still and video photography. You can dial your diffusion from super soft, going through this 4x4 foot panel, turn a knob and it turns clear.
Right. So it essentially takes, one of these guys.
One of these guys back here,
And, almost identical to that.
yeah,
4x4.
size-wise and everything, yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
So rather than having the different variations of
Right.
diffusion that you have to take on and off, to literally this control box that's hooked up to that, and you just turn this dial, and it's like those fancy bathrooms in hotel rooms in Vegas,
Right.
Yeah,
where you walk in and the glass is transparent, and then you hit a switch,
and it's
it becomes
frosted.
opaque.
I never
Except
trust
this is
those.
variable.
I never trust
Never trust them.
But with that announcement, there was another couple announcements that I was actually really looking forward to. Canon just announced their new C200, which fits perfectly in their Cinema EOS line, which we may be looking to upgrade to in the near future, which would be great. Panasonic also announced a new cinema line. Both these cameras are under $8,000. They both do 4K internal RAW,
Wow.
which is very impressive. Kind of the trend that we noticed, and kind of game changing, especially under 10 grand
Yeah.
to do
really.
RAW internal like that.
Yeah.
So to say the least, Cinegear this year was very exciting. I had a great time.
Lots of great stuff there.
Yep. So lots that I'm want to get my fingers on.
I want.
All the toys.
Yep, all
Like
the
being a
toys.
kid in a candy store, I want one of those and one of those and all of those. Yeah, the lenses, some of the lenses we looked at too.
Yeah,
Especially the set of F1, full set of Cine F1 lenses. They weighed, what, about 35 pounds
things were
each?
monsters. They were the
Probably
diameter
this
of
big
those
around.
things.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I didn't even inquire about the price.
I could
Yes.
only imagine. I think those are from Hawk.
Hawk, yeah, German manufacturer.
Wow. So that's just a little insight into Cinegear 2017. I think we're going to try something a little new for this episode, wrapping it up. Now that we've had a couple minutes to sit with the Pendleton and think about it a little bit, we're going to rate this out of 5 barrels.
Barrels.
So Caleb?
You know what? I really like this. It's smooth drinking. I mean, you really can just drink and eat all night. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
You're kinder than I am. I'm going to give it about a 3 just because it doesn't have the complexity of some of the other
Right.
bourbons.
I'm not as complex.
Yeah.
I'm a simple man.
He's a simple man with simple tastes.
And
Yes.
I'm probably going to split you guys and go about
4.
4. Yeah, this was pretty delicious, and like I said, kind of dangerous. But to your point,
I
it's
miss
not
the
as
complexity
complex
of
as
some of the bourbons and ryes that
Right.
we've had.
Yeah, I mean, although I'm the one who brought this to the table and I do love it, it's very easy to drink. To me, it's still just a solid 3 for that reason, the lack of the complexity,
Not that that's going to stop me from drinking it.
right? Especially, I didn't mention the price point. I usually pick this up around $20.
really. Wow,
So
I
yeah,
didn't realize.
I've seen it for
That's a
even a little
benefit.
under.
Wow. Well, there you go. Have yourself a $20 really good bottle of Canadian whiskey.
He's great.
So thanks again for joining us, and we will catch you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.